Today, thanks to some patrons, I get a chance to look at 3 albums that I wasn't able to cover back when they came out over this past year. 2 albums from overseas bands that are in the metal field, and 1 album from a band I've said quite a bit about over the past couple years. This is where I get to ask, how did I miss this? The first album to look at is And Justice for None, by a band everyone has an opinion about in the rock and metal world, Five Finger Death Punch.
My label tried to sue me, TMZ tried to sue me, Blabbermouth and fucking suck it, cause they never fucking knew me.
For many people who have watched Rocks before, you know my opinion on the band in recent years has soured. Going into And Justice for None, I wanted to be as unbiased as possible and give a real chance to this one. See not only how it holds up as an album by itself, but compared to the band's past works.
That being said, this album is somehow better and worse than the 2015 release Got Your Six. I don't even know how that's possible.
Released on May 18th, 2018, And Justice for None sounds like it has improved in some areas, such as Ivan Moody putting in slightly more effort in 2 or 3 tracks on the writing and delivery, but the rest are the same fake wannabe macho garbage lyrics we've heard a dozen times before. There are some good rhythm sections throughout the album by Zoltan, but the percussion section of Chris Kael and Jeremy Spencer really isn't bad, but it just doesn't feel very present. It's just kind of static in there. But I can't think of one standout guitar solo or even any impressive lead guitar work, which was at least one of the main features of the more recent bad albums from Five Finger Death Punch. I started getting concerned with what I'd been hearing after just a few minutes. The album starts out with a fake, talking about fake people and how Ivan Moody hates people who are all talk and hates fake people and then wants to hurt people like this. Also saying he hates people with big mouths and how he wants to tear them out. The next track, Top of the World, talks about how Ivan Moody is trying to be humble.
It makes about as much sense as I just explained it.
You'll get occasional breaks from that adrenaline rush music, like When the Seasons Change and Stuck in My Ways, which are kind of generic and just set a rhythm, but they really aren't the worst things I've ever heard. But then it's followed up by Rock Bottom, and I just don't know whether to laugh or bang my head on the desk.
I ain't your boy, I ain't no goddamn motherfucking toy. I'm not dead, I'm still alive. You don't like it, you can go ahead and die.
Let's be honest, most of the music on this album, And Justice for None, was made for college bros who chug Monster Energy drinks every morning and flip themselves off in the mirror to see how cool they look. I mean, that's still a fan base, and they're happy to hear it, so give them what they want.
Overall, And Justice for None continues the status quo with phony alpha male lyrics and musicians who do not live up to their potential. Every member of Five Finger Death Punch is talented and can deliver something better than what's on this album, as they have done back in 2012 and before. This isn't the worst album ever, but it's more cover songs to rely on and the same old song and dance.
The second album to talk about today is Queen of Time by Finland's Amorphis.
Queen of Time is the 13th studio album from Amorphis, who work in progressive, melodic, and death metal reaching back to 1992. This is my first time listening to an entire Amorphis album, and my familiarity with the band is pretty limited. This album is just under 1 hour of many different metal styles across 10 songs. While the track lengths are long, and when you hear what's all involved in just the first few minutes of the B, you might think that there is going to be way too much to take in. After you settle into that music though and hear how well composed some of these pieces are, you come to appreciate the music fast.
It's gonna send attention to in the night, all the river of death, fly the
Growling, clean singing, deep guitar solos, loud percussion, operatic sequences, string sections, more growling. Yeah, Queen of Time has the checklist ticked off. Some of the standout tracks incorporate an equal amount of singing in the clean and unclean as well. Tommy really delivers something impressive in songs like Wrong Direction and We Are Cursed are now shocking and grab your attention because of the vocal performance.
If you're looking for an example of harsh vocals done well, then Queen of Time is what you need to check out.
What I love most about Queen of Time is that at no point does the volume stay high for too long, meaning there are many speed changes to something peaceful for a breath before cutting loose again. Message in the Amber, Wrong Direction, which also has some great guitar work, and Amongst Stars, which features some good female guest vocals, these songs prove Amorphis still can deliver in something ambitious and huge, and make it successful after so many years. When asking the question, how did I miss this? Well, to be honest, Amorphis isn't a band that has really been on my radar, so obviously I'm not going to notice. After hearing Queen of Time, I admit, I'm not only impressed, but I want to hear what else the band has covered over the past few years. This isn't a flawless album, as songs like The Golden Elk and Grain of Sand sound similar to each other and really just less impactful, but the pros outweigh the cons big time here.
I'm not going to say Queen of Time is flawless and really held me at the edge of my seat for the full hour, but it definitely requires repeated listens and has a lot of variety. Also, if Finland sounds as cool as it does on this album, then I want to go to Finland next year.
Overall, Queen of Time is worth branching out of your comfort zone if you are a metal fan trying to find something new to take in. Whether it's the melodic, the screaming, or the instrumental, Amorphis covers it all here and succeeds in many ways.
The final album to talk about today is Awakening from Abyss, the debut full LP from Lovebites.
Released on October 25th of 2017, Lovebites, getting their name after the Grammy-winning Hailstorm song, is an all-woman band that alternates between power and heavy metal. If there are two things to expect from this group before going in, is that there is some guitar work that'll blow you away, paired with some gorgeous female vocals. Awakening from Abyss is the perfect combination of strong, natural singing from Asami, paired with fantastic, precise, fast guitar work from both Miyako and Midori. Along with that, there is a steady, deep rhythm section in the back from Miho and Haruna. Why am I explaining all this out? Because people need to know who this band is and what they're capable of.
I cannot stress enough how disappointed I am that no one told me about Lovebites sooner. What the heck, guys? You send me links to bad music and give me regretting the past requests, but you don't tell me about this?
Through 12 tracks, Awakening from Abyss is what everyone should be looking for in power metal, and this is from a newer band. If you think it won't translate properly to another language, you'd be wrong because the lyrics in English work really well and are memorable. Lovebites went on to win the Metal Hammer Golden God Award for Best New Band, and yeah, I agree, Best New Band. It's the total package. A great intro leading into huge songs like The Hammer of Wrath that feature big shredding sequences, Warning Shot, which I swear would make a killer first-person shooter game soundtrack, all the way to songs like Liar and Burden of Time, which are epic. I cannot say enough good things about this.
This is one of those times where I'm just thankful these ladies found each other and started working together. And also one of those times I wish I would have found out about it sooner. Lovebites is amazing. I can't really stress that enough. Check it out.
Overall, Awakening from Abyss is a mind-blowing, teeth-rattling album that can impress even the biggest of metal snobs. If I had known about this album's existence last year, it would have made my best of 2018 list. I cannot say more than this. After this video, go check out Lovebites, and then go buy this album.
And with that, I'm thankful for the 3 Patreon suggestions that I got this time, because I heard 2 really solid albums, one of which I love, and I got to follow up on what Five Finger Death Punch was doing in 2018. Hey, I'll listen to Champagne again if that means I get to find a really good album right after.
I'll be making another one of these videos in November and have Patreon slots for it open next month. If you'd like to support Rocked on Patreon, now you can check out the link in the description below or in the YouTube card. There are rewards for everything. Every dollar helps, and there's a lot more of Rocked coming. Thanks again to all my patrons for their support and for everyone who has recently subscribed this past month. It's been the best growth my channel has ever had. If you haven't already, please do so because it helps to get noticed on YouTube search results and rankings. You can check out my concert photography on Instagram, and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook and Twitter.